Early voting here in Washington, D.C. begins today and runs through November 3rd. Residents of the District of Columbia, the U.S. Capitol, can vote in person before Election Day or choose to vote on Tuesday, November 5th. Washington, D.C. is home to nearly 700,000 people, and the stakes could not be higher. And D.C. could play a significant role in deciding who becomes the next president of the United States. Joining us live from here in Washington is VOA's Paul Ndiho. Hello, Paul. What's the significance of early voting in the nation's capital?
Thanks, Esther. It's significant indeed. Voting started today and it will go on through November 3rd. I ran into some enthusiastic supporters of both Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, who are all excited to cast their votes. But there are some key things that most of these people are talking about, especially we conducted a mini exit poll here, and most people are talking about the issues, specifically immigration, the inflation, but perhaps more importantly, they are talking about abortion rights. Most of the people that I talk to here think this is one of the reasons why they should come and vote strongly.
Paul, I recall in 2022, Washington, D.C. restored voting rights for its residents, allowing even non-citizens to vote in local elections. Does this also apply to the federal elections?
Absolutely not. You are correct by saying that the D.C. allowed non-citizens to vote, but it's just in local elections, not in the federal elections. For example, there are 500 registered non-U.S. citizens who are going to be voting in this election, but mainly in the local elections and not the federal elections. Federal elections, I mean the presidential elections, but they can vote for council members.
And I think we've heard about legal challenges here, Paul, raised by Republican lawmakers, specifically regarding the voting rights of non-citizens in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. What kind of reactions are you hearing from there?
Mixed reactions. Obviously, when you talk to a lot of Democrats, this is one thing they've been fighting for, especially in places like Washington, D.C., a district without representation, meaning that they don't have a vote, but they are taxed. So when you talk to people who are close to that issue, they say they should allow non-citizens to vote. But when you talk to Republicans, this is something they're not going to tolerate. In fact, they have challenged this through the court system. The Senate is yet to even to pass this bill into law. So there is a lot of contention when it comes to non-citizens being allowed to vote, and I can see this even going further to the Supreme Court, especially here in the district.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be meeting some of first-time voters. Tell us what they're saying they're excited about. Paul Ndiho, thank you very much for your reporting live from downtown Washington, D.C.